Start your intro. It's, I'm
I am come.
That is the worst fucking thing I heard in the longest time. I am debating to stop right there.
It's so fucking stupid. Fucking
I am very disappointed in you.
no, I always
We're always disappointed in him.
I always play the clip at the beginning, but that's the first time I say it with the clip.
Fuck. That is just bad. Alright, let's start the music.
Fuck, hang on. What the fuck is the rest of the intro? Fuck. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shadow Chronicles Session 8, Cult Defeated Edition 2. This is being streamed at 8:11
It's the Dark
p.m.
Chronicles, not the Shadow Chronicles.
Huh? Didn't you change it?
No. Shadows of War is the original. Dark Chronicles is the new one. I haven't changed it.
Oh. Okay.
Now I have to. Now
I like dark and shadowy stuff, sir.
No,
Hang
I
on.
know, but I think I've said Shadow Chronicles at the beginning of each one.
Hang on.
So
You've been calling it Shadow Chronicles in the VODs too.
yeah, I've been saying that it's Shadow Chronicles at the beginning of each of the streams as well. So I
well.
I was under that.
Here, hold on. I'll see if I can change the name later.
I mean, no, I can change it myself. It's just that it's gonna be real awkward going back to the beginning of the old ones and be like, "Hey, welcome to the Shadow Chronicles." Huh, that's weird.
Just you Microsoft Sam's voice and put Dark Chronicles.
YouTube doesn't let you do that.
I know, because
Whatever.
YouTube sucks.
This is being streamed at 8:12 p.m. on the 17th of September 2021 in the MST time zone. If you happen to be living in Canada in like the Ontario time zone, then it's actually being streamed at like 10:12 p.m. Daylight savings fucking sucks. I don't remember which one it is, but whatever. It's about there. Per Iggy's request for me to stop, but I kept going anyway. I said the date this is being streamed at. Per my wanting to be a little more clear on when this is being streamed at, I said the time this is being streamed at. Per BRG's request, I said what time zone this is being streamed at. And per Mega's request, I also said the time zone in Canada this would be being streamed at. I also did the I am Mukamu at the beginning of the stream per Chris's request. And that's the intro, yeah.
So Dungeon Master, what were we doing last? So we don't have to listen to Nick anymore.
No, we'll listen to like as much as we can.
As you all know, I am the main character.
Wrong.
The two of you are the main characters.
Semi-correct.
Yeah, I'm a main character. Meld's a main character. We're both main characters.
Right.
But I'm the main character.
Yeah, you're a main character. I'm a main character.
Right, but I'm the main character.
Yeah, what's her face is Dayu is also a main character.
No, she's not. She's a sub character.
She's been here since like end of session 1?
Yeah, basically.
Not with us though.
No, like she joined at the end of session 1.
No.
And then now we're on session 8.
She joined at this end of session 2, start of 3, I think. Something along those lines.
I thought we got out of the cave, met her on her way back, and that's where the session ended.
I think you technically met her at the end of the first session, but I didn't really introduce her till the second. You basically kind of a cliffhangered.
Yeah, but she didn't join the party until we actually went to the mansion.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how a part of the party she even is right now, anyway.
I mean,
like she is a part of the party, but she's not a part of the party. If you catch my drift.
She's a mascot character.
Which is Probably not the best thing, but okay.
Like, if we were
It
to
was a
make
joke.
if we were to make like a promotional poster, I feel like Dayu would be on it. In addition to like Melvin Genazol. Or
Yeah.
Azel.
Azel. Just have like quotation mark on it, whatever name you're using at the time. Alright. So, what you guys have been doing is you guys went through the old Barvale mansion, who, although thought abandoned, you guys found out that occultists were kidnapping and putting children in there. And in general, most of the populace were kind of uneasy with it, but no, the nobles haven't really done anything about it until one of the noble children disappeared. Coincidentally, as the noble child disappeared, a band of former convicts, or at least a leader of these former convicts, confronted one of the nobles. And coincidentally, said noble child disappeared. You guys, after a long while, you guys actually ended up in the the manor and were able to save a fair few of the children, as much as you could. A couple of them died. You also stopped a cultist. Also
Many
prevented
cultists.
a major cultist. You prevented a major cultist for stopping his plans. You've also prevented a warp storm to actually hit the place. So congratulations on that. And you guys are level 3!
Yeah.
Hooray! I can finally jump attack people.
And I can move better.
Yeah, you can move better. Jump
Yeah.
attack and move better.
I mean, it's like
How can you move better?
I think when I do an attack on an enemy, I can move an extra 10 feet.
Yeah, you have the ability to, as long as you attack someone, or like as long as you're going to end it with attack or something like that.
You
Level
can move
3
up
stuff.
to 10 feet each time you deal damage to a hostile creature with a falchion.
Yep. It has to be a falchion.
This movement does not count against your speed, and whenever I move at least 20 feet in a round,
Yeah.
at least when it's on new squares, I can't like just go back and forth on the same 2 squares. I get an extra 2 damage on my next attack.
Oh boy. So basically, he's a mobility fighter.
Next level, I get mobile.
Oh boy. I'm trying to get where you guys are going to be at level range for most.
I mean, I guess we never actually discussed when this campaign. I mean, like theoretically, this campaign ends when Chris gets back and we start doing Shadows of War again.
Theoretically, yeah. The other thing is like, regardless of like your guys' level, unless I am being super careless, most times you're gonna be fighting things that aren't at your level. Most of the time.
We're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, like your character almost got destroyed. I was actually legitimately worried that I was going to kill one of your characters in that boss fight.
If we die, we die. It happens.
I know, which is the only reason I went with it, was because it's kind of hard to do dark fantasy if I go, oh no, then let's just change it.
Oh, don't
Part of dark-
worry. You're not gonna die here. You've got the glory of your gods to save you, and hidden magics and such.
Yeah, let's go with that. But you guys, back to the game. You guys exited the wooden like the Barvale hunting grounds, and entered the southern section of Silov again. What do you want to do? Keep in mind that Daya is with you, and a couple of the
Children.
children are with you, specifically the noble child.
Mm-hmm. Dayu's witch hunter buddies came and got the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, a couple of them came and they're going to be investigating there.
Don't
While
forget there's that still one tied up guy in there.
they will catch him easily, considering he isn't going to be moving all that much.
Yeah.
Also, I was just looking through my features.
Yeah.
Did Spear Mastery change or something when I wasn't looking? Because it looks like it changed.
So
Let's see. Though the spear is a simple weapon to learn, it rewards you for the time you have taken to master it. You gain the following benefits. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls you make with a spear. When you use the spear, its damage die changes from d6 to a d8 and from a d8 to a d10 when wielded with two hands. Let's see. You can set your spear to receive a charge. As a bonus action, a creature you can see that is at least 20 feet away from you. If that creature moves within your spear's reach on its next turn, you can make a melee attack against it with your spear as a reaction. If the attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d8 piercing or an extra d10 piercing if you wield it with both hands. Can't use this ability if the creature uses the disengage action before moving. As a bonus action on your turn, you can increase your reach with a spear by 5 feet for the rest of your turn.
Are you looking at it on DMV or on the
EMV.
the PF? Okay. I don't know how it would have changed on DMV.
Well, remember, I had to retype the whole thing.
No, I know, but presumably after that you checked and made sure that it looked right, right?
Well, the Spirit Mastery, I'm pretty sure, is the default one because I'm pretty sure Polearm Specialist is from Dragoon.
hmm
Wait, are you talking about a feat or like a character?
Feat.
Okay.
Feats shouldn't change.
I mean, unless they updated it, I guess.
I definitely feel like Spear Mastery got changed.
Let's see.
You gain a +1 bonus to your attack rolls you make with the spear. When you use the spear, its damage die changes from a d6 to a d8 and from a d8 to
Are
a
you
d10.
using the UA
with
version
hands.
or the new version? Or
You can. What do you think it was before, Ian?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't that. Let's see. Features.
oh, so UA, the North Arcana version is you gain +1 bonus attack rolls when you make make with a spear.
Are you
When you
thinking of
use a
spear
spear,
mastery or polearm mastery, Ian? Because polearm mastery is you take a penalty to your hit, but you gain extra flat damage.
But that's not it. Because I have Polearm Specialist, which is from my class, and then I have Spear Mastery, which is the one I chose. And I don't see any other versions of it. I only see the one version of Spear Mastery.
What do you think it was?
I know it was the thing that let me attack people who entered my range.
That's Sentinel.
No, it was something else gave me that ability. And I'm pretty sure it was Spear Mastery. I'm pretty sure they changed the text on Spear Mastery.
Sentinel. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, creature speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. Creatures broke opportunity attacks from you. You have to take disengage action when a creature.
That's
or is
not
that
it.
polearm mastery? It might be polearm mastery. I think Sentinel just stops their movement.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Sentinels to crowd control.
I remember Spear Mastery before was whenever anyone entered my attack range, I could automatically attack them.
Polearm
But,
Master. While you're wielding a glaive or other creatures provoke an opportunity attack from you when they enter the reach you have with that weapon.
Polearm Mastery. So did I
Yep.
click the wrong one then?
Might be.
Polearm Master.
Because you have Polar Master and then also
Okay, yeah, that's what the issue. That's what the issue was.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I had
Fix
clicked.
and save.
I'd clicked the wrong big stick thing.
Oh no, I'm
Wrong
thinking
big
of
stick.
Great Weapon Master is the one where you take a penalty for extra damage. Or is it Great Weapon
Yep.
Fighting? Fucking. Why do they all sound so alike?
Because they kind of do.
Oh yeah, it was polearm master, not spear master, not spear mastery.
That also lets you attack with a bonus action with the butt of your weapon as well, I
Correct.
believe. Yeah.
Yep. That's a dragoon thing.
I mean, that's the feat
That,
thing.
that that's
Yeah, that's the
the
feet thing. Yeah, the dragoon thing was something else.
specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
But yeah,
We figured it out. We fixed it.
it was other big stick thing.
Yeah, it's the other big stick thing.
Uh-huh.
This music's pretty good.
So, you?
Hmm.
Where we headed off to right now?
We're
Just gonna
going.
bring the children's back on
We're
presume.
going to be. Yes, specifically, her eyes flicker towards. Wow, my brain decided it was done. Where is? Oh yeah. We'll be bringing Lady Wildflower back. And we are you two are going to be helping me escort. Wow, English is hard. Hold on, give me a sec.
Sec given, sec taken.
So, the three of us will be escorting Lady Wildflower to the castle of Silov. Now, it's not going to be like a regular castle. It was originally a manor of some sort. But it is a fortified place.
Alright, I think we should just get on moving then. Unless you got anything you want to do, Mel.
No.
Alright.
Off we go. As we're walking, are we just gonna walk through town?
Yeah. Not overtly. At least you're gonna walk through the southern section. If you wanna, what's your thoughts?
I'm just wondering if like anyone's gonna walk up to us and like, oh hey, those are children there.
My
Uh,
baby.
well, at first no, because most people are trying to avoid the southern section of town.
Okay.
But as you guys get further and further in, you'll notice people are kind of uh
Turn ahead.
walking by and pausing and like looking over and like doing double takes and hurrying off as you guys go forward. Make your perception check.
My perception is 0. 16.
18.
Awesome. So as you guys continue upwards, up northwards, you notice that like a couple of the townsfolk are on pins and needles, and like a few of them are just basically darting around in a hurry, and you can tell that they are extremely nervous. As you guys continue to walk a little bit, Dayu frowns slightly. Hmm. Oh, they could have felt the chill as well. Thankfully, we stopped at the storm, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to put everyone on a higher stress level.
Why didn't you just go with on edge, Seth?
Because my brain's in a weird way. I apologize. So, uh, she she kind of frowns a little bit more. Be courteous, be respectful, and just her eyes head towards you, Azale.
And do
I
please shut up.
try.
I'm not gonna cause a scene if that's what you're wondering. However, if someone were to approach me and then attempt to combat me, then I wouldn't really have a
I
choice
don't
in the
expect
matter.
anything else from a National Elf.
Mm-hmm. Just saying, you know. I mean, if they want to fight, I will give them a fight. But I'm not
I'm
gonna.
just asking you to try to tone down competitiveness for a little bit.
I am not gonna start anything. Okay. Okay.
I know. I'm aware.
Why
I
would
have
I
known
ever
you
want
long
to
enough.
start? I don't want to start anything that I can't finish. You know.
I'm very,
Mm-hmm.
very well aware.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't
I'm glad we're on the same page.
you couldn't finish that berserker.
I mean, I was taking into account that I also had Mel and I also had Dayu, so it's more of a cumulative, effort there rather than a one-on-one that it started as. Especially since our main goal was to stop the warp, because if that went down, then I don't think any of us would be here.
Oh, there's that too. Especially with the other issue. One of the reasons why we will be going to the castle, by the way. We have to warn them that larger forces than just mere cultists might be involved. And that's concerning.
We should have asked the cultist guy how he managed to, gather up all those materials. Ah, well.
We'll find it eventually. That's why they're investigating the place. Now, let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
Take the lot of you. Boop. Copy. Now, let's see. I gotta find the. There you are. Alright. Nope. Nope. Welcome back to Still of North,
Mm-hmm.
where a bunch of people are. You can still see like the fact that everyone is really on edge. But as you guys get a little closer, one of the guard approaches you guys as they notice the three children, and as he carries over, a couple more come forward.
As they start walking up, I start getting out in front of him, like, no, Renee, alright? They just go back. Just stay back a bit, okay?
Their eyes flicker towards you, and you're completely covered in like dried blood. And like the
That's right. I swam in it. Oh.
I told
Oh man.
Meld.
and you have like like it's
Meld,
flaked off of your face a lot, but
Oh no.
Meld even told you to wash up.
You did. Oh. All right, just chill out for right now. They're
their eyes
fine.
are flickering over towards this like blood-covered ashen elf. And like their skin is like you can tell that their faces are paling slightly as they eyes quickly go to Dayu, who's also kind of bloody and worn. But they look over to
Meld, who is like, perfect,
look to her.
looks at Meld, perfectly untouched.
Melda's kind of like kind of ruffled, but not overtly harmed. As much so it hasn't really like her boots are covered in blood here and there, but they kind of look at Dayu and then the children, and their eyes kind of light up as they see one of the dirty, malnourished children as the missing noble child. You go, oh, you found her. And as you get a truck up, Ginazelle, and try to like keep him away. They stay a respectable pace away because holy fuck, you're just kind of intimidating to look at right now.
I wonder why. It could be anything.
I don't know. The calm look is like your face is actually still has some like splotches of blood on it, but like a lot of it flaked off, so they can tell who you are easily enough. And Dayu is like, we're going to escort the children over to the castle. These are my escorts to help make sure things are okay. If you wish to help us, that is perfectly fine. And after like looking at each other nervously for a second, they nodded and promptly turn around and start heading towards this direction, keeping themselves at a
Respectful distance.
a respectable distance to a degree, but close enough where if they felt the need to, they can intervene. And as the lot of you, it'd be awesome if I could actually do that. Did I do you properly?
The answer is maybe.
I don't know. No. I know what I did wrong. I'll be fixing it. Yep. Don't mind me. I was messing around with stuff on the map layer earlier, and I forgot to put everyone on the token layer and left you on the map layer. There we go. Which is something I should have caught on real fucking quick.
What, that we couldn't move?
Oh, that you couldn't move, and like I don't know if it is for you guys, but for the GM, literally have a little symbol on each piece of art that tells me what layer it's supposed to be on, what layer it's on.
Oh, that's a you thing.
Okay, yeah, it's really really useful.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I don't barely pay attention. So all of you, as you guys go northwards up to the main road and up towards the castle entrance, a bunch of like civilians like stick their heads out, and you can actually you catch uh as you guys get over here, you actually see Farmer John poking his head out of like his house and like muttering things to himself as he watches the person that was helping them with just chores casually walking on the road covered in blood. And you go, yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you want to make a perception check, you can.
All of us or just him?
Oh, primarily him, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. What do I not see?
What do I not see?
Well, you don't hear actually some muttering to himself,
All right.
and just kind of you basically like just there's so many people in the area that are just like poking their heads and muttering to themselves and like talking loudly with each other in like half whispers as like these guards uh escort you over to here. And the four guards kind of these guards are look like they have better armor than the ones around.
Mm-hmm.
And they too kind of pale slightly at you. But then eyes flicker over and Dayu steps up. And she goes through one of her pockets and pulls out something and shows it to them. And says, "Here to escort the heiress. Now, let us through." They hesitate for a second. They look at each other and then look at and one of them kind of cautiously come forward to look at what she's showing him. And then he gives it this a look over and goes, "We need confirmation. It's You can tell that he's very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm assuming that Genzel is kind of like hovering near the kids.
Yeah, making sure they're not accosted by any more people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Same
And
goes for same goes for Meld. Just that Meld is like infinitely more approachable than both Dayu and Zell right now. He's the most I
Dayu
have.
basically just kind of wards off anyone just because of who she is or what her career is, and they she's kind of noticeable. Genzel at the moment just scares the living fucking shit out of everyone because holy shit.
All I
Eh,
am, all I have is like just a little bit of blood on my boots.
But one of the guards uh, follows Dayu back, and he approaches. He ends up approaching you guys. "I need to confirm," he says as he eyes Genzel. He comes forward and inspects. He kind of leans forward and just starts inspecting the children. And when he gets over to Lady Wildflower, he
The
kind
gasp.
less of a gasp, but his eyes kind of sharpen slightly, and then he's. What are the languages you guys speak?
I can speak Draconic. I can speak Common. I can also speak Sylvan.
I know Elvish and Common.
Okay. Gazelle, you hear, you understand this. And as he approaches in Elvish, he speaks. It's pretty, it's not super fluent, but like it's well practiced.
Okay.
And he says, "What is the last gift you gave Luthric?"
Can I make a religion check to know what a Luthric is?
No, you don't have to worry about that.
Oh.
And she frowns slightly and tilts her head. Oh, a blacksmith. Was a blacksmith order for a new sword. And uh, for a second, he just kind of stares at her, and then like a big grin appears on his face. So it is you. He speaks in common. Oh, my boy is going to be a bit happier. He's been beside himself ever since you disappeared. Although he eyes
So,
you. I believe and like and just like the filthy appearance on the kids as well. He goes, "Ah, I believe a trip to the bathing area would be a best, not a miss." You know, and he basically turns over and barks, "Step aside! The heiress is found, inform the Lord." And they step aside and you guys go in.
Been a while since I've been in a castle. How about you, Mel?
you've been in a castle before?
I
Not what I
mean,
expect from you.
I've gone all over the place. Just searching and whatnot, so a time or two you come across a castle, you go inside, you meet the nobles, you mingle a little bit.
Oh, I thought I set. Oh, I might have attempted to set that up properly and I fucked that up. Cool. I'll fix that. There we go.
Hey, sometimes they need a mercenary to do stuff. And I just might happen to be the mercenary they're looking for.
I've been somewhere something like a castle.
If you guys want to do a history check,
Sure.
Okay. History is a +1.
18.
god damn.
5. Well, I'm not from around here,
You're
so.
not from around here. Uh, although Genezel isn't from around here, he has heard of this place. This place, depending on who's been asked, uh, some people consider it is a proper fortification, and it's almost a castle on its own. But it was originally, from what he remembers, a noble house that when uh, like the highway of the countries started to get expanded and everything, they just, since they were the closest noble house, one of the closest noble houses here, they just fortified the place and trained a bunch of people here, and it's considered a place that is known as like the Manor Castle or the estate castle. Not a proper actual castle, but there is a lot of guards and a lot of
Rich people.
uh, and like the Wildflower family is rather rich and has their estate is part of the fortifications. As you guys approach the gate, you noticed uh, you'll notice that there is a bunch of people on top of the towers and like on the walls, and they're just patrolling back and forth all over the place. And you also notice that there's a lot of towers. As you finally approach,
This is the official Nick do not cause a scene area.
What?
okay, so
When have I ever been known to cause a scene?
All the time.
That's just ridiculous.
do you stand for this accusation?
I do not, because there's likely an instance where I have caused a scene, but I can still be against that generalization of me.
As you as you guys approach, they actually to the gate, and the guard that's escorting you, the castle guard, barks, open the gate, escorting the lady and her guests. As they hurry out of the way. The gate opens, and like it's an iron gate that slowly just you can hear the gears turning as it pulls open, and you guys can enter.
Oh, that's
Genazal starts whistling as he starts walking in.
All right, and Dayu comes forward, and as you guys get into the building, one of the guards with a looks like a commoner at first. You realize it's just one of might be one of the estate staff. Starts to approach, and their eyes kind of like the state staff's eyes just widen, and at like at the state of you, Ganazel, and like of the children, and go, uh, follow me, follow me. Do you that's do you guys follow?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Alright. She leads you guys.
Aren't the kids following too?
Yeah, I'm setting. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. So she leads you over to here. As she's like, oh, this is one of uh, the staff buildings. We'll be using the bathing facilities. Yeah, milady. Milady Hunter, would you care to take for the heir, take care of the heirs? Was I? A- And so they basically quickly separate you guys, and the two of you uh have two separate baths set up for you, and the children and everyone else. It's basically let me pull that away and tell you. I remember it. There's actually let's pretend there's a bath there.
But wouldn't it
Bath
make?
there?
Yeah,
It has multiple levels. Interesting.
yeah. A lot of these buildings have multiple levels, by the way.
A question: wouldn't it make more sense for to be split between boys and girls?
Yeah,
Okay, because
they're
you were saying it was us and the kids or something.
so essentially the two of you are taking two separate baths away from the children, and the children were separated from boys and girls and their own baths.
Okay.
All right.
If you want to make a perception check or anything about why, that's up to you.
Sure. 9.
Azel's uninterested in that minutia.
Okay. As far as you know, Melt, it's kind of weird, but whatever. It might be just a practice. And after about like half an hour to an hour of bathing and cleaning up, you guys were allowed to leave.
Important question.
Possible answer.
Were we bathing alone or with others? Because of course Mel typically hides her tail for most stuff.
You and Gil actually have bathed alone. You
Okay.
guys. So basically, how it worked was that they took the two adventures and then separated the two of you. So both of you have your own baths. Then they took the children, moved them away from the two adventurers, and then separated them by gender. So split in force.
Okay.
Now, after a bath, the estate staff and I would say a couple of the guards escort you along with the children over to this building.
Which building?
This building,
Okay,
Which one?
this one.
Okay,
north.
the big one. Got it.
Yeah, the big one, just north of where you guys were. And welcome to one of the estate buildings.
Be right back. I need to feed the cats.
All
Okay.
right then.
Well, in that case, ah, Yeah, probably want to move her too. Doop-a-doo. Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Uh, 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 uh,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
uh, uh, uh.
Mm, mm, mm.
No.
No, I got time to look at what they're sending me.
Uh, boom. Like, there's a more thorough backstory. Since didn't really nail it down, I guess.
I am back. What are you talking about? Are you trying to steal everything that isn't nailed down?
What?
No, he
All I
was
heard.
answering a question.
Okay, because all I heard was nailed down.
Yeah, no, we were just waiting for you. All right. You guys are quickly escorted and through one of the doors. The two guards actually position themselves here as the state staff member leads you through the kitchen.
Were the children brought with, or are they just
They're here. They're in here
okay?
up up north.
Okay.
Ah, Lady Dahlia, your guests. I'll confirm with the Lord. And she kind of hurries off, and you guys can hear muffled talking, like from the other side, as you guys approach Dayu, who looks a lot cleaner and a little bit more healthy. Uh, so the two of you are to be guests to the Lord's establishment as a thank you. Uh, some food.
Oh, isn't
Food's,
that nice?
food's always nice.
And more precisely, to discuss more of the information that we gotten. She eyes you, Gazelle, slightly and nods approval that you got pretty much all the blood away, as much as you could.
You didn't think I was just gonna walk in here all blood-like, did you?
No, but
What?
I know how hard it is to get rid of blood.
It's not that bad, especially when it's so fresh. Now,
It was all dried, wasn't it?
I mean, fresh in the sense that it's like not even. It's not even. It's how long has it been since we were at the manor?
It had dried, I know that much. It's at least an hour.
Like I would say it's like it's been like half a day dried blood, not like end of a week dried blood that Genazal has experienced before. Which is really tough to get off in comparison, because at that point there's like coats and coats on on top of each layer of dried blood, and it gets really difficult because it's basically stained your skin at that point. Versus
What about all your clothing?
I mean, when you're in constant like fighting, you kind of lose your clothing at a certain point. Yeah, you can try to get it back on, but it just gets like torn back off, basically.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is like half a day's dried blood versus a week's dried blood, which is
Yeah.
different.
The longer it stays on, it's harder it is to get rid of. That's why people want to get rid of it as soon as possible.
Also, because it's kind of icky having someone
It's
else's
kind of
blood.
icky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but that's like a side point, really.
Hmm.
You know how fast a nosebleed can stain your pillow when you're asleep?
Very, very fast.
Yeah. And that's only like 6 to 8 hours, possibly, even less.
I mean, I'm talking
Uh-huh.
like skin on skin contact, not like clothing.
Have you ever touched a Sharpie?
Yeah.
I was making a joke. Anyway, let us continue.
Mm-hmm. It's not like I was drowning in blood for a week or anything. It was just, half a day's blood.
You were drowning in blood for about 10 minutes.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was an amount of time, but it's not like it was an entire week, if you catch my drift.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're all nice and cleaned up. And
Yeah.
at this point, Genazal brushes his hair back, and you can see like little blonde specks start to like shimmer in the light.
Good. You cleaned up nicely then.
Indeed, I did.
Alright. We'll be discussing this with the Lord Wildflower. He is, although a bit stressed for obvious reasons, a general nice fellow, comparably. Come along. Yeah, she leads you up the hallway a little bit and then into a room, and you see, like, past, like, this big table is a rather, an older man dressed in fine clothing sitting there, and you can actually see a fine saber, like, attached to his, like, resting against the table. And, although he has some gray hair, it looks like he's generally, takes care of himself, but you can tell recently he's been less worried about that. And he has, like, bags under his eyes. But he has a stiff posture as he kind of eyes the two of you as you enter. You are the adventurers, the mercenaries?
Yeah.
I believe that is my profession, yes.
He's kind of like he stares at you for a second, and like his face is kind of stone cold, and then like the briefest of a smile kind of appears, and then he stands up and he gives a proper straight bow. Thank you, at my deepest heart, for saving my daughter. And then he straightens up afterwards. the two of you have earned a debt to the Wildflower family for what you've done, along with the witch hunters, of course. He kind of briefly glances over towards Dayu. Tell me, what have you learned over at the old estate? As he sits himself back down, and as he's asking his question, all we know, or all I know, is that the Hushed Ravens were involved, but I thought that was dealt with a fair bit of time ago. The other thing that we need to do is figure out how and when. Hmm. Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell me how they were kidnapping children?
That indeed I can. Do. Alright, so here are the parameters they used for targeting the children, right?
Mm.
So only alone people were kidnapped, mainly children, as you know, and it was only commoners for a while. The race and gender did not matter, and as far as I know, it was only the one Miss Wildflower that was taken. It was mainly on Saturdays and Sundays, and it started a few months ago, and, mainly children. I think there were a couple, adults, but not too many. Again, I know it coincided with something. Hang on, let me look that up.
Mm-hmm.
It impresses me he actually kept notes on this.
Oh yeah, no. He does it all the time.
Oh, right. It sort of lined up with an altercation with religious people around the Memalil Lightmaster, which is, god of this area, and the Hushed Ravens.
True. The Hushed Ravens were pushed out by the church a bit a while ago, when I was a bit of a younger lord.
Hmm.
So they survived. Da Dayu, I thought that your order dealt with the Hushed Ravens. Dayu coughs slightly and goes, "We are looking into that as well. The thought process of perhaps one of the witch hunters turning is concerning. I, for none, remember doing it when I was an apprentice. There was no way that most of us would have let a few slip away. But I was not going to be. But I was not surprised. They are, after all, worshippers of Zenich. Hmm. The change of ways. Well, yes, they were. Was there anything interesting that you learned from this lot of Hushed Raven cultists?
Someone named the Bright Shadows involved somehow.
His eyes flicker towards you. You spoke to this bright shadow fellow?
Through an animated statue.
That I am not surprised. You see, we've been trying to track down this bright shadow person for the longest time. Many of the provinces have been. The fact that he's keeping an eye on this area is more than concerning, to say the least. I know. See, although I'm not the biggest city, or Silov is not the biggest city, it is a very important city in this area. And that warp storm that you guys, the two of you, helped prevent is perhaps one of the worst case scenarios that we could have ever had. We are, in essence, one of the most important locations to guard the main thoroughfare of our kingdom. We're not the only ones, obviously, but still, we are one of the closest ones. The amount of damage a Whipstorm could have done, it could have easily cut off a good section of the country. But with the Bright Shadow involved, it's very concerning. Was there anything specifically he spoke about?
I cannot remember what I wrote down from them. That is probably something I should have written down. Do you remember what he said last time?
I think I was away at the time you were talking to him, so I
Well, I
didn't.
mean, like, do you remember what it was?
I mean, I don't think I was at my computer when.
He
Oh,
was AFK.
Yeah.
can't remember what he said. I just I only wrote down the bright shadow, and that was it.
Make a wisdom check.
Wisdom.
Yeah, your worst stat.
Can you remember?
3.
No.
You can use the help action.
I wasn't there. I can't help you. Like, literally.
So, you try to remember what you were discussing, but every time that you try to say something, this weird sensation kind of happens, and you pause, and you just can't really fathom a thought. It's like basically any thoughts are just ephemeral, and they're almost evanescence in a way. Every time that you try to like grasp a thought, it's just basically just it sifts through your hands like mist, and that's rather concerning. And the Lord kind of leans forward, and his eyes kind of sharpen. You talked to the bright shadow, but you cannot remember anything.
Can't remember specifics.
Day.
Well, I can
Thank-
safely say that you have talked to the bright shadow, and it's one of his abilities. If he wants to, he can basically make it so that specifics and general information just won't appear. It's one of the reasons why he's such a concern. For all we know, we can be walking into whatever his trap is. But we wouldn't know, since a lot of his victims that survive will find themselves, well, not able to recall anything aside from the fact that they've met him. And talked to him. The details just never really come back.
Oh,
But
that's why his name's Bright Shadow. While you're talking, it's really bright, but then you can only remember like a shadow of what he actually says.
That is really dumb.
I didn't come up with his name. He did, probably. How does
You're the
anyone
one.
even remember his name?
You're the one who
no,
just came up with that dumb explanation, though.
I mean, he's the one with the dumb name. I didn't come up with that.
uh, most people call him the Bright Shadow. He, we don't actually know his actual name. Primarily, one of the very few tidbits of information that we know, and the reason why the name is because he is to be the shadow that brightens. We don't know why, or we don't know the reasoning for such a odd phrase, but that is what he is elected to others to remember. He at some point decided to keep the moniker. We actually don't know his motivations. And the fact that he's involved is, as I said before, very concerning. But we can at least confirm that it is indeed him, and not some imitation. Now, and Dayu mentioned that you are facing a high cultist, and also one of the berserkers. Was there anything else that you guys faced?
Let's see. We fought a cultist. We fought a ghost. We caught a berserker, and cultist leader, I guess, if you want to distinguish that from the rest of the cultists.
There was a ghoul.
There was
Oh
the
yeah,
ghoul
there were like
that
4 of
you
them,
killed.
right?
You killed the ghoul while uh,
Meld was being a tank.
yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He did a good job with against the ghoul, by the way.
It helped that he was an elf.
It helped. It really helped that you were an elf. Duly noted. Always be an elf. Then you don't have to worry about certain things.
It's so easy, dude. Was this like the 3rd time I played an elf?
Oh, you were a human in the last one I played with you.
I played an elf in Iggy's game. Otherwise, I've just been DMing or human? That right? Yeah, that's right.
Hey.
Okay, no, so this is the only 2nd time I played elf.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's great. Try it sometime.
Will do. I'll try to play an elf. But actually play an elf and not just, you know. But on the other hand, dwarf. I could just be a dwarf and that'd be fine.
Hmm.
But Lord Wildflower, uh, kind of keeps an eye on like it has like rapt attention. It has like attention with you guys as you discuss what you fought there. Could you describe the bazooka?
I
Um,
he focused on me because he saw me first, downed me, and then I don't know what happened after that, but presumably he went after the next closest person that he first saw.
which is very common with the cultist bazookas. They the thing is, we're trying to figure out who he was prior. I
Uh,
see.
yeah, you might have some difficulties with that because he kind of doesn't have much of a face anymore.
We gathered. That's why we were asked. If you want to, you can actually. Yeah, no.
I
I was gonna say something, but my brain decided. Yeah, no,
If you
that's fine.
happen to have like a writing utensil or like a brush, I could maybe like try to draw what he looked like.
Okay. He nods to a staff member who hurries out and comes back with a decent quality of parchment and a pen and some ink, and hands them over to you. Make a performance check.
Uh,
So let me double check that.
I mean, it's like two things, I guess. Actually remembering what he looked like, and then actually drawing it,
Yeah.
something like that.
So I probably do. Let me pull up skills again. 5e. Uh, do an intelligence check.
All right, that's decent.
That's not bad at all. You actually vividly remember the like like facial features and the like of the person that's barreling down towards you with a giant axe.
All right,
And you
ignore the muscles. Ignore the muscles. Look at his face. Okay, I got it.
All right, and one of the things you do remember is he had a rather oddly kind of youthful type of facial structure. Like he still had like baby fat, and clearly wasn't fully grown. And now that you think about it, the muscles were one of the reasons why you're kind of paying attention to the muscles was because they were just unnaturally big. And yeah, you start like sketching a bit more and more. And I want you to do a do a dexterity check.
All right. 15.
You do a good passable picture of him. It's very much basically you kind of looked at you kind of recall like how like wanted pictures are kind of drawn and the like, and you basically kind of do the same type of sketch type art of the person, and then you hand it over to the Lord at the end, and he kind of frowns and looks at the he kind of looks at the picture and okay. Sorry, thought I heard a cat meowing at me.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks at the picture as he kind of just described to him like the hair color and like, and he's looking at it and he's stroking his beard slightly. I do recognize the boy.
And you said there were other cultist berserkers?
Yes, it's a very common thing. It's a dark ritual. In essence, they imbue them with the strength and fury, but they don't really have a lot of training. They can they can essentially use an axe to brutalize and murder people, but they don't really know how to fight properly. All rage and and one of the most common factors with them is that they will focus on one specific person, and until that person's dead, they will not stop, or until they die themselves.
Dead or downed? Or was the other one a special case because they were going after the warp generating thing?
Uh, that was a special case.
Okay. Well, that's kind of weird because the one that we fought after I got knocked down, it started going after Mel and Dayu, who I presume at the time were getting rid of the warp stuff. So seemingly they have something that allows them to override that like instinct to kill the one.
You were face down in a pool of blood.
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure he thought you were dead.
He
possible.
actually thought you were dead,
Oh, all right.
but
That makes more sense.
as you kind of describe this idea, and like you can see like a very concerned look on his face until Beld explains like the circumstances of your that you were in, and he's like, although the thought process that you have is a concern, and we should probably operate under that concern. I believe the young dragoon would was correct on.
How did he know I was a dragoon?
I've met a few of you.
Neat.
It's kind of like asking, how do you know I was an elf? Kind of got the skin for that, basically.
Literally anyone can be pale.
Yeah, but not a lot of them can be ashen.
There, Ash elves are like legitimately look like pale ash. That's hence the name Ashen in their name. But yeah, so well, I'll have to inform the family that their son is regrettably dead as well. And he will be given full on us, actually. The young man was captured along with my daughter. The only reason do the only reason why he was, from what witnesses that we were able to talk to, was able to discern, was that he intervened when they were trying to kidnap her. The hope was that it was just the bandits being sloppy. Obviously, it was not true. And it pains me to admit, I believe Stormeye was correct in that I've been a little too concerned about missing people. But considering how things are going politically, I'm not surprised. Take a look somewhere else for a briefest moment, and something will creep out of the shadows. What with the issues with media and the like, there's been a lot of talk amongst the nobles, and we were trying to convince the prince and confirm with him what we need to be doing. So I've been more focused on the external problems and not the internal ones, it seems. Worst part, Stormeye was a friend. And to think I thought he would stoop so low to kidnap my own child. This is the reason why I hate the Dark Gods. He looks a bit more tired. I'm kind of more worn out. As the part of the thanks. As you guys are discussing, by the way, servants had pulled out a decent amount of food, like a couple loaves of bread, uh, some uh, like vegetable soup of some sort, steaming hot, along with some cut like a thinly sliced meat. Mm. What are the other things?
What was that?
I'm thinking. Hold on. Sorry. One of the other things that we have to worry about is, well, there's been a bit of rumors from a couple of other towns or cities, whispers of other cultists. This province doesn't not bode well. The cultist purposely causing problems. No, I don't know anything about it aside from that a few of the other lords and ladies have been complaining about other issues. Missing supply, riots, people who just promptly just decide that they're done walking. Hell, there's been a few times where the banditry has been skyrocketing in certain areas. This entire province is having issues. Now, I'm telling you this, he's addressing the two of you, as a concern, as a part of the favor. Don't be surprised as you go through the province that you would run into issues. Already rumors are spreading that there was almost a warp storm in Silov. I wouldn't be surprised. So don't be surprised if you run into a lot of hostility on the way around.
Got it.
People
Mhm.
will be panicking. I've been able to keep things a bit more calm over here than anything. Primarily because of the witch hunters that are around. It helps calm the populace when the the order that has been made to deal with such issues on around and making sure things are smoothly. Especially is helpful when they aren't removing people swiftly publicly. He kind of eyes die you for a second. It's less problematic when I don't have other people disappearing. She kind of looks slightly sheepish. I'll talk to the general. Now, you may stay. There are two beds in here. Uh, Lady Dragoon,
Yes.
you will have the room across from us. This one.
Okay.
Lord Ash,
Yeah.
there's a room up from the up the hallway near the breakfast area. That'll be your room.
All right.
Upstairs are forbidden.
Upstairs are forbidden.
Yes,
Okay.
especially right now. His eyes narrow. That is where my children or my child will be sleeping. And I refuse to have more problems. And then you may stay in those rooms for the rest of your stay here.
Thank you, sir.
Gives a curt nod.
Nay, before we go, would there
Yes.
happen to be any compensation for
Hmm.
returning your daughter safely? I am a mercenary after all. I do live and breathe through the power of coin.
Persuasion check, please.
Uh,
DC 10, by the way.
oh boy, 18.
Hmm.
It doesn't necessarily have to be gold. It could be treasures of some wealth, magical items. Just something would be nice.
You. You are a mercenary. Oh God.
What?
Uh, I'll explain later.
All right.
Nick,
And
what did you do?
no, not Nick. A friend of mine.
Still Nick.
Somehow it's Nick's fault, regardless.
Oh, we're
Even
It's
though
always
friends.
Nick
Nick's
says,
fault.
"Oh, yeah, we'll be friends."
Ah, nice.
Now, hmm. You want compensation? Of course. I'm a merchant lord. I understand compensation for doing hard work. He snaps his fingers, and one of the staff members come forward, and uh he looks at her as and gestures her to get closer, and he whispers something, and gives a nod before hurrying out. And after a little bit, you can hear her like leaving the building itself. We'll have it set up for tomorrow.
All right.
I believe it's going to be rather potentially useful for other things. Although I don't know how useful it'd be for you, but overall, it's useful for adventurers.
Sounds good to me. Now, I'm tired. I'm sure Mel's tired. I'm sure Dai's tired. I'm gonna get to sleep.
Very well. Have a good rest,
hmm
and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, sir.
I just get waits until you guys are gone, and as you guys leave the room, she comes forward towards the Lord, and that's basically all you guys get to see before the door closes, and you guys sleep. Is there anything
Great
before you will
time.
go to sleep, or are you just gonna?
Let's see. Anything before I go to sleep? Let me check. I'm pretty sure I can make stuff with my alchemy supplies. What was the rolls for that? Let's see. Alchemy supplies 5e. Uh, hmm. Why is the material cost always so expensive for these things?
You gotta earn it, sir.
How much money do I have? Not much. I am probably going to do nothing unless I can find something to do. Nope, nothing.
Alright.
Alright, Jenna Zalz is gonna close the door behind him. Is there a lock on it or no?
There is a lock on there.
Okay, I'm gonna lock it from the inside then.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna search the room real quick for any like sort of peepholes, I guess. Basically something that actually lets a person see in or hear in or whatever. Any tampering.
Give a DC 10 perception check or investigation.
All right.
Okay. You find nothing.
All right.
Actually, it looks like it's a rather well kept room, and as you kind of look around to make sure there's no way, like if we're tampering or what have you, you kind of get the sense of a feeling that this room was specifically designed for private, uh, and like the quality of the thing is this is like you kind of realize that he essentially giving you when he said he's giving you these rooms as thanks, he legitimately meant so, and that these are more than likely rooms made for specifically like honored guests of the family or some such. And so like it's basically the entire room is designed to be uh purposely private.
Okay.
Okay.
So Genazal's gonna take out the like piece of ember warp that's in its capsule and
Okay.
just stare at it for a bit. At its nice glow, its warmth. Can I
You,
feel
t-
it at all through the bottle or no?
you take 2 sanity damage.
There isn't really warmth coming from the bottle. It's kind of basically it just feels like room temperature. And like you can tell that this thing is rather unnatural. And as you kind of stare, it's kind of mesmerizing, almost unnaturally. It's like you know how you can like stare at like burning coals,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find yourself like losing some time. If you just kind of look at it, it's kind of like that, but a little bit worse. It feels kind of like you're kind of more drawn towards it,
So
but
Genazal's just gonna stare at that for like a good hour before he puts it away and goes to sleep.
uh, Mel, is there anything you're gonna be doing? Or did you decide to just head to bed? Meld?
I'm just gonna go to bed, I guess.
Okay. As you guys fall asleep, you guys recall something, and if like in the whispers of your conscience, an angry voice and the scraping of claws on stone as it just gouges it out. And the voice harshly mentioned harshly declaring that someone was a failure. A failure. And also, like, this presence, like an ever-present person is, like, watching you as you guys toss and turn in bed for a little bit. You guys were able to sleep as well as you could. But, although kind of not as restful of a sleep as it usually would be, it wasn't too bad. Aside from the nightmare.
Did we both have that nightmare?
Yes.
Okay.
And now it's time for our regularly scheduled break.
Alrighty then.
See you guys in 10 minutes.
Yep, yep. Oop. Now I'm gonna have to read your background stuff you sent me.
Mm-hmm. Much obliged. And I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Heck.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello!
Seems we've all returned.
Roughly around the same time.
I have been back for 2 minutes, I think, but about.
About. Alright. Ah,
At what time do we wake up?
you guys wake up about in the early hours. About around I would say like just about like an hour or so after sunrise. And you guys were woken up by a polite knocking on the doors. Breakfast will be serving soon, is what you hear after the knock. Well, you guys are awake? Anything you want to do?
I'm a stare into the ember orb for a good like 20 minutes, then actually leave my room. But while that's happening, Mel.
I'm just going to polish my spear.
Okay.
Have to perform that weapon maintenance.
Weapon maintenance has been done. And as you guys end up coming back over there, as you guys enter the dining room table, next to the Lord, a familiar face appears. Well, fair bit more cleaner, and looks like and looks well taken care of, and is just kind of quietly talking to the Lord. And as you guys enter, the two of them pause, look at each other, and she goes, "Oh, and she gets up and she does a curtsy. Thank you for saving me. I, Silvery Wildflower, is in your debt. As such, both me and my father have agreed a token is needed." And she kind of leans, she crouches down and grabs like a chest and puts it on the table like it, and kind of pushes it slightly. And she kind of sheepishly looks at her father, and he just rolls his eyes and helps, just picks it up and brings it towards you and puts it in front of the two of you, and flicks it open and props it open inside on a like a simple pillow. It looks like a regular torch at first glance. One of you make an Arcana check?
Let's see. My Arcana is a +1. 18.
You recognize this. After a brief glance, you thought it was just like a regular torch, but then you saw the runes kind of carved it here and there, and the for a and the other telling thing was like the handle and everything was finely crafted, and you don't usually craft a disposable torch like this. Congratulations, you have an ever burning torch.
A
You
forever torch. Wait, isn't this the thing from the last campaign that I sold?
Yes, don't do that with this one.
or we can get money.
Or you can get money. Yes. uh, okay, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. But congratulations. One of you is holding an ever burning torch.
That'd be Mel because I have dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one's a little bit different than the regular ever burning torch. He pulls out like a candle, and he takes it, and he utters, oh, an elvish voice. And that was forged to you, Meld, but to Genezel, it's just simply uh, flame, and it bursts into like a blue flame, kind of just bursts to life on it, Mirelli. And he leans forward and puts the flame towards the fire or the candle wick, and the wick bursts into orange flame.
Mm.
It will not harm people, but it will set things on fire. And considering that you are adventurers and there's a good chance that you'll be spelunking, more than likely you'll need to be able to clear a few things, potentially.
Thank you for this gift.
It's not a gift, it's compensation.
It is very much compensation, and for a job well done. Although my daughter has mentioned slight poor responses from you. Yeah, eyes flicker towards you again as well. It is forgiven for obvious reasons.
Apologies, it was a high stress situation, and I was kind of on death's door for a little while, so.
He lifts a hand slightly and goes, I understand. As what I'm just merely bringing it up to mention the fact that we did discuss it.
Alright.
It has been one of the reasons why I agreed to the compensation. Was that the both of you acted perhaps not in the best light, but an understandable light. You are at death's door, and my daughter in a far less better condition than potential.
What'd you say?
She was in. Bleh, sorry, screwed up words in my head. Like I spoke like 2 or 3 words at the same time. Far. She was in far less of a good condition at all, and I'm quite frankly was amazed that she was still able to uh pull magic.
Okay.
Keep that. It might be useful for your adventure.
I'm sure it will.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Also, we will give you. We've been actually in discussion with a few of the villagers. It was agreed upon the return of my daughter that the rescuers would receive another compensation. You will be having rations and traveling supplies free of charge from the adventurers shop. That would be the one that was run by the halfling that you know,
Uh-huh.
Meld.
Yeah.
Hmm.
As an incentive to find my my daughter. Those will be yours as well. That's the general gift. The ribbonning was a personal. Now, Before I leave, I should perhaps tell you that uh, things are a little bit different between cities, of course. But you may also you have a favor of the wildflowers from a daughter. She intends to repay that in respects at some point, but I beg for you to hold on to that debt for a little longer so she can recover.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You may use that debt for whatever reason, as long as it's reasonable, and his eyes narrow slightly.
I don't think we've been unreasonable up to this point.
I understand.
And my eyes narrow slightly.
And as the two of you stare at each other, locking eyes, his daughter just gives a slight huff.
And I
As
did, and I bonk Zell at the same time.
I think that was kind of uncalled for, Mel.
I think it was very called for.
And I suppose we'll agree to shut the fuck up. And I shut the fuck up.
the daughter's like, Father, they won't take advantage of me. Or whatever other issue you think they would happen. Sorry, he gets a bit protective of me. And she kind of gives a weak grin for obvious reasons, though. So as long as it, the as long as the request or whatever the payment of the said debt is reasonable, that it won't cause my family issues, me personal issues, or the like, it will be fulfilled. And she's like, even as she kind of uncomfortably starts talking about it, you can tell that this was just like a well practiced message that has given to a few people. And she kind of gives a slight grin. So I know you understand that, but it's to make sure that we cover bases, in essence. So apologies for us making you feel like we're treading things that you should already know. Oh, I'm gonna go and relax and sleep a bit more and contemplate. And she kind of walks out of the room and disappears upstairs. Her father gives us a swift nod. Ah, so you have a wonderful time, and you may use the other rooms that you have for your remaining stay here until obviously. If you have more pressing matters, he indicates that he wants you to go. Uh, Stop by the kitchen before your breakfast should be finished cooking there.
I nod and then head out.
Thank you, sir. And I head out.
Mhm. As you guys enter the kitchen, one of the servants comes, looks at the two of you and goes, "Ah, your food, here." And she like gestures you towards like a small yeah, makeshift table that was kind of set up in there, and puts out two plates of well-made eggs, and some bacon, uh, a couple biscuits, and a pitcher of white gravy. There you go. A good hearty breakfast.
Thank you very much.
Thank
He
you.
grins and goes, That's no, thank you for saving the lady. I don't know what would happen if she didn't survive, so this is the best thanks we can give you." Yeah, and then she kind of hurries off after that. As you guys enjoy the breakfast, is there anything you guys want to discuss, or just kind of eat quietly and head on out?
Just eat quietly and head on out.
Eat
Uh,
quietly, head on out. Wait for Dai to show up eventually.
where did I put Taiyu?
Sure
Oh,
about that.
Tai. Yeah, I was gonna say Taiyu should be around here. She as you guys kind of finish out and head off, you find Taiyu just outside waiting for you patiently.
Step Dai.
Gives a curt nod. Hello. It's good to see the two of you. Now, I see the Lord has given his gift to you.
It's an everlasting torch, I believe. Isn't that right, Mal?
Yeah.
Useful thing, man. Clears out the cobwebs pretty well. Now, as he mentioned before, the Hushed Ravens are not the only cultists in the province. They're just the most prominent one that we had to deal with in this area. Now, for the Hushed Ravens, obviously worship is the Zenich. But there's been whispers and rumors that each of the primary dark gods have their own cult in the province. Minor cults, mind you. The problem is, well, the Hushed Ravens were considered a minor cult if they even existed still. I've been given orders to offer something to the two of you. By the order of the Lord General Capheus, we hereby offer a sponsorship to the mercenary Genezel and this adventure. She looks at you, Meld, in question.
Wait, did she say Genazal or Azel?
I believe she knew your name was Genezel. Unless you didn't tell her?
I don't.
I know you didn't tell any of the villagers.
I don't think I told her either. I don't
Okay.
think I would anyway.
Okay. Then mercenary Azel, and adventure Meld. She kind of questions towards you, Meld.
Yeah.
Adventure Meld. We have a outstanding task for the two of you. You are to help any and all of the witch hunters to track down and stop any of the other minor cults that are in this province. Along the way, in the hopes of gathering more information and clues of the Bright Shadow, because he's clearly interested in this area. Now, we'll give you a list of the cults at a later date. We're still gathering a bit of information. In the meantime, if there's any pressing matters that you wish to do around Silov, perhaps do those. For now. Also, Hazel,
Yeah.
there's been a rumor that an ashen elf has been about and killing a fair few people.
Mm. Exciting.
The issue is rather they're killing people without issuing a challenge. Now, I'm not well versed in ashen elf culture, but I assumed that it's usually not unprovoked violence that you
I
hear people do.
It depends on the elf and what clan they were raised by, I suppose. By and large, if an elf ever gets into combat, only one person leaves. Aside from like extremely rare circumstances,
Mm,
and most tend to opt into battle.
that's
Like both parties opt in. There are a few minor sects that don't go along with that, and typically, uh, they get, I wouldn't say weeded out, but they're
discouraged highly.
contentious. Yes,
Understand. It's one of the things they wish for you to.
but to do that outside, even in the Ashen Elf Society, it's like still kind of accepted, not really, but like typically what happens is that they go around on a murder spree, and then like a couple of people band together, challenge them, they don't say no, and they get slaughtered. But to do it
Well,
outside the Ashen Land is a bit suspect. Most elves are smart enough to not do that, even those who are of the slaughtering variety.
her eyes narrow slightly. I feared as much. Could I? Hmm. Could you look into this?
If you, I mean, Ashen Elves, I doubt there's many around here, so I can ask around at least, yeah.
Good. The sooner we deal with this, the less tension, especially for you, would perhaps happen.
Any idea where they were last spotted?
a smaller village, about perhaps a half a day's travel, maybe a day's travel. I would say south from here.
All right.
And just she kind of points down towards like this large. If you just take the road and just head southwards a few hours, and then I believe the last sighting was in the small village about a few hours south of on the main road. Yeah. And then about a few more hours, so like about 6 hours down, and then almost like 6 or 7 hours like westward.
Happen to have a name of the town?
Stillbrook.
Philbrook?
Stillbrook.
Still Brook?
Yep.
Okay.
Fair warning. When you do enter, don't be surprised that the people would be less than enthused seeing a national.
Yay, racist and whatnot. I'm not immune to that.
True.
Hey, someone called me racist because of my accent. It's quite weird.
It is weird. The other thing is, she turns over to Mel. There is also the rumor that's been whispering about a few dragoons in the area. The thing is, they've been told, from what I've been gathering, they have been attacking caravans, like common bandits. If Meld wants to do a, do you actually remember?
Yeah, they have a dragon egg, I believe.
Yeah, there's been a rumor that they have a dragon egg. Yeah. Last time, now for them, they're a bit westward from here. A day and a half's travel. Or that's where the attacks have been happening. So there's that. Now, it, just things that the two of you could be doing to keep yourselves occupied, if you wish. I would be grateful if you could intervene with that. With the cultists causing problems and tensions are rising, I'd rather not have more problems caused by common banditries or unique circumstances. There's also the chance that regular hanging would happen, and we'd rather not at the moment. It drives tensions high.
Going back to earlier, what do you mean by sponsorship? Referring to when she said that,
Mm-hmm. She's contemplating the kind of the words that she's going to be using for a second, and then goes, "Sponsorship is, in essence, we are well aware that cultists, the witch hunters, are a bit of have a bit of a stigma. We are also aware that not everyone wants to follow our ways. However, we also are aware that a certain amount of experience and wisdom of other points of view are far more than necessary. So, on occasion, a witch hunter, and in this case, a witch hunter general, will declare that we will be able to sponsor what we consider acceptable people. In essence, you will do work for a witch hunter and get paid if we're compensated for doing the work that they task you to do so.
And I would imagine that will be given supplies and whatnot as well.
Supplies, information, potential help on missions as well. Even if it is, it might happen sometimes to be a slight varying degrees of good help. She kind of looks a little sheepish.
Do we happen to get like little cards that say honorary witch hunter or witch hunter sponsored? I guess would be the better word for it. So that way, when we meet a witch hunter, we can, just show them the identification and be like, oh, hey, you're a sponsored witch hunter person. Nice.
She actually pulls out a little display case from like one of her pockets and flicks it up and then pulls out and it's a nice little cushion, and on top of it are two uh like
Medals.
badges. Yeah, basically just like two medals. And uniquely, you guys know that this is like it's it looks a like it's a closed fist. Like the metal looks like a closed fist, and like it's crushing something, and like on there and like on there like on like where like the palm would be, you can see like in detail like it's like some detail there. It looks like someone was like dripping amber on it. These are the sponsor medals. Show them to any witch hunter in this area, and they will respond in kind. This is specifically, oh wow, what did I call him? Damn it. What
Uh,
General?
Cassius?
Yeah, there you go. This is specifically General Cassius's symbol. Do not lose it. Do not sell it. Do not part with it. It will be noted that you two will have him, and if another person magically has it, well, worst comes to worst, the person will lose their life. We take these very seriously.
All right then.
Got it.
No. More than likely, you'll run into me at some point, but even more likely, you'll run into others. I am a bit more laid back than other witch hunters, so keep that in mind. Who knows? You might actually run into General Cassius at some point. He is a very interesting man. But unfortunately, I have to get going. I'll keep in touch. I'll contact you in about 4 days' time with more information about the other cultists and the groups.
All right.
She gives a slight nod, turns around, and walks off.
See ya, Dayu.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Well,
So there you
Mel.
go.
Well, Mel. Seems we have some things to take care of.
Oh,
Being
I
the
suppose.
So I
being
guess we just leave the fort.
I mean, if you want to look around the fort, you can. There is. Do note that the guards are a little high strung, but they are rather generous and are okay with you overall. Kind of wandering about.
okay.
As long as like
We don't go messing about.
yeah, as long as you don't go messing about or like do something incredibly suspicious looking, you'll be fine.
Is there a training field or whatever?
Uh, overall, there is. It's not marked on the map really, but there is. It's just really south from where you are, just past the stone building. Um,
Here?
yeah,
Okay.
you want to head over there to double check things, or
Yeah, I want to head over there.
All right, Mel. Before you go running off, let's discuss what our next move is. Like, yeah, today's kind of whatever. We'll just do our own thing for the most part. But tomorrow's a new day. And for that, we gotta figure out what we want to do. Seemingly, we were given two juicy bits of information, being a slaughter assassin elf and a legion of dragoons with a potential dragon egg. My initial inclination is to go after the dragoons first. What say you?
Yeah, I want to go after the dragoons first.
All right, then it's settled. Tomorrow we'll head off towards the dragoons.
yeah.
And I think that's about it. So bye. And Genazal walks away.
And I head to the training sparring field.
Uh, all right, Meld.
Yeah.
That by the way, that's where uh Meld is.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, Nick.
I see.
All right. As you approach, uh, you kind of you come by like two rather big buildings. and you can hear the clashing of swords happen as you get closer and closer. Actually, and you see that at least a couple of guards are in a little arena fighting here and there, and a couple other ones are in a corner fighting against a
Training.
practicing swings.
Are there training dummies?
Yeah, over
Since
here. And then that's basically all that they're doing out there. You also see a few archery like
targets.
targets around this area, but no one's using them. You can tell probably because there's a lot of guards just patrolling the door or uh the walls at the moment. So it's probably a good idea that they aren't practicing archery at the moment.
Mm.
So what do you want to do?
Well, since it's first thing in the morning, I need to basically just do morning warm-ups. So
All right.
basically I'm going to practice against one of the training dummies.
Uh, you notice that there was also one over here that no one's really using. So you can use that one.
Do you want to put something there to mark it, like Traggett Rock?
I don't think I can try it.
What?
I'll pick us up. That's in a different dimension, sir. I
You
can't help that.
you've left Traggett Rock by the wayside? How dare you, sir?
I would love to have Traggett Rock. Let me see if I can pull out Traggett Rock.
No, no, it's too late now. The damage has already been done. You've already forgotten about Traggett Rock.
I don't think I can even pull them out, unfortunately.
You just need a rock and then call it Traggett Rock.
It's not the same, Ian.
It's not the same. It's not the same thing.
There's only one true Traggett Rock.
That is true. This is his twin brother, Rock Traggett.
My
No, I mean,
heavens.
I could probably pull out. I can pull out a Traggett Rock.
Ooh.
Traggett Rock
I still
lives!
have this. Yeah, I still have the thing. It's gonna be a different Traggett Rock, but it's still Traggett Rock. There you go, Traggett Rock. Tis exists.
The Return of the King.
Woo! We have the king at our presence. All right. So you're gonna start doing morning. warm-ups and everything?
Yep.
Okay. As you're doing that, get a Zill.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to head back to the forge in Svidlov.
Okay. So, let me see if I can do this nice and proper. Oh, nope.
That is before we even had tokens.
Yeah, I know.
Look at me, I'm Genizol. I have 2 arms. Or 2 hands.
Oh,
Is this south? Yeah, it's south.
that's south. I got
Hey,
you.
here's north.
Hey, we got it.
We did it, Reddit.
We're famous, Reddit.
Well, la dee da.
All right. Now I gotta throw the roof again. Okay. As you enter,
Hello.
the dwarven lady is kind of like inspecting something. Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good to know. I'm here to inspect your order.
Uh-huh.
Well, give me 1 second.
Time's up.
And she hurries off to go grab something real quick and comes back and drops it on the table next to you. Presenting the punching hand or the fist. It still needs a bit more filing and the like and more shaping, but in general, and she pulls out it looks like actually looks like a really good interpretation of like your what your missing hand. It's just slightly off, and it looks like it like kind of uh, rough, but not like someone uh was just in the process of polishing, and she's like, "Oh, this is a bit more of a prototype, rough version of it, but I need to double check and see if it works properly. May I?" She gestures to your missing the arm that's missing the hand,
Go ahead. And I pulled out my stump.
and she takes the fist and goes and puts it here and there, and it goes All right. The other part pulls out a bracelet of like wrought iron with a bunch of rough runes. And this wood actually looks pretty decent of like it looks like a pretty good just bracelet type thing.
Mhm.
Place this here on your on before just before the stump, but and she hands it to you. This is to hold the hand there without having to surgically attach.
Right.
And so as you put it on, it glows slightly, and she takes the hand and like it places it on there, places it on there. and it just kind of sits there as a fist. Do you want to like move it around a bit, see what it does? Give me
Go ahead.
just like give me a few like move it around, flex it a little bit, like move it
I
about.
I do so, jostle my hand around a bit, or arm, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And she's keeping an eye on it as you kind of do things. All right, okay. Uh, she pulls out a piece of well-crafted armor and just like plonks it down on and like props it up so it looks like it's there. Give it a give it a punch.
All right, and I punch it.
And you break your arm.
I
Uh,
break the fist.
and as you punch it, how does that feel?
How did it feel, DM?
Uh, after about you gave it a couple experimental punches, and although it's not going to beat your usual hand that you have there, the actual hand that you have there,
Mm-hmm.
it is certainly uh, it's a good substitute, and you can easily see you using this to punch someone in the face. And surprisingly, it's not as weighty as you would think it would be. And she's like, "Oh, the secret is runes. Lighten it up a little bit here and there. We don't need to pulverize the bones of the stump
Mm-hmm.
area. So, at the moment, what I want to do is make sure that we have the hands to be functional, and then I'll do a finishing touches and actually make it presentable. Uh, loathe having it half finished. It's barely just a rough version of it. A very rough version.
I see. Well, I'll come back in a few days then, and uh, see you then.
Don't forget the amount of money that you and she nods
Yes,
her head and
yeah.
goes, don't forget the payment. That's all that matters.
I won't. It's 15 gold total, 5 per. I wrote that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll leave the forge.
Alright. Now that's happening. I'm gonna put that back. And hi random, how are you?
Oh, you know what? I actually want to go back inside real quick.
Okay.
You know what? I'm fine. I'll stay outside. But I mean, I could go back
I will
inside.
put this on your character and I will crush you.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. While you're thinking about Ian.
Yeah.
Alright. You're warming up.
Mm-hmm.
After practicing on a little bit and you start warming up, you notice that you're kind of gathering a slight crowd of guards, kind of watching how you work. And you see that a few of them are talking to someone that's dressed a little bit more fancier than them. Do you stop for a second to talk to them, or do you just continue to practice?
I'm just going to continue to practice.
Make a perception check.
Let's see, that would be a D20, 12.
You hear them discussing. Well, or you can hear like the one in more fancier armor starting to talk, and they mention. Well, then I'm like, notice how she is holding, like how she does her attacks. This is something that you need to keep an eye on. They're not regular spear wielders. Dragoons are a bit different than what would you consider spear fighters. So, note, and you basically can just hear him like lecturing them about like the differences between a spear wielder and a dragoon, as far as he knows.
Guess it's time to put on a little bit of a show then. I'm going to vault attack.
All right.
Let's see.
You.
Just double checking stuff. I can use my bonus action to launch.
All right.
Double checking.
Oh, oh. There we go. Is that better, girl?
And then an aerial assault. I can make special melee attack. So I guess I roll an attack for the thing.
Sure.
Slash roll D20 plus. I'm pretty sure it's just a 4.
Mm-hmm.
17.
Mm.
Let's
And
see.
clearly hits.
Roll D10 plus. Double checking that. Plus 2. And then that's plus another. That's the aerial assault. An additional D4 for every 10 feet. So that's a D4 plus D4. How much damage can one of these dummies take?
Enough.
Okay.
It's a bit more, fair bit more worn than you left it, especially after that impressive attack. And you can hear them kind of pause as they kind of watch you launch into the air, and then like dive bomb the target. And then you can hear that now you understand it's like you can kind of guess that it's just like the commanding officer, or at least the more senior guard. And that is why dragoons are different. They're designed to kill dragons. And dragons don't particularly want to die, so they fly away, obviously. So keep that in mind. If you run into a dragoon that you need to fight, they can get a fair bit more distance than you were going to expect. Alright? And you're just gonna continue onwards with this training?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Gazelle, is there anything you're gonna do?
How far is the death house from here? Like time wise?
Time wise? Uh, fair bit of, like, probably, like, 3 hours away from 34 yeah, about 3 hours from, like, where you are at the moment.
Okay, so I can still go there and then get back to the castle
Yeah.
before nightfall, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna head down to the death house then.
Okay.
When I get there, are there any witch hunters still around?
There is a few, witch hunters, you boop, boop. There's a few, you can see, like, a couple witch hunters, like, scouring around the grounds, and like, there's 1 or 2 over here. They're actually seriously investigating the place.
Hmm.
Do you wanna enter? Or you
Y-
wanna confront them? Or not confront them, but talk to them?
yeah, I'll go talk to him.
Okay. As you approach, they have, like, pretty much no nonsense, like, cold, looks on their faces and go and, say, "Name and purpose."
Aisel, and help with the investigation, and I pull out my sponsorship badge.
They eye it for a second and then give a curt nod. Inside you'll find the commander of the investigation.
All right. And I head inside.
As you enter, uh, you can hear talking coming from over here,
I
and
knock on the wall here.
the
Hello.
talking pauses for a second, and then it opens to reveal a witch hunter who like stares at you for a second and then gestures you to come in. What and sitting on one of the chair, like in one of the chairs, and like looking at like documents, uh, is this older gentleman, and as he like mutters to himself, he looks up to you. You're one of Dayu's sponsors, aren't you not?
That's me. And I show him, flash my badge real quick.
And he gives a kind of ghost of a smile of like it, like, and he's like, "Good. Get used to doing that."
I would imagine as such. I'm just here to help if you need any.
All right. Now, so
What'd you say?
let's see. He kind of leans back a little bit and thinks for a second. The trap, yeah. What was it?
Did he ask what the trap was?
Yes,
In what regard? Like a trap on a specific floor, underground?
this floor. The rats.
Oh, yeah, you see, there was a statue down, I described the statue down here.
Mm-hmm.
And, seemingly there were, a new rat spawning every, like, 6 seconds or so until we, crushed a gem that, the statue was holding.
Could you describe the gym for me?
Uh, when was that session for?
I believe so.
Uh,
Oh, you took notes and made sure which session each one was.
I only wrote gem, not what type of gem.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't keep track of what type of gem it was. I just remember it being a gem.
Uh, roll a intelligence
Yeah, no.
check. You don't
Hmm.
remember a damn thing about it except for frantically trying to smash it out of the way so that not a lot of rats would come out.
I can confidently say it was a gem, and it was crushed. And I I'll run over there real quick to see if it's like the like shards are still there.
Uh,
They probably picked it up by now.
they are not, but
Okay. I'll just head back.
he kind of just, as you get back over there, he's just bemusedly like looks at you and goes, "Ah,
Yeah, no, the shards are gone, so
we have the shards. We just don't
alright.
know the actual proper size of it, considering it was crushed. The coloring was purple, but
But yeah, seemingly that was the mechanism by which the rats spawned every 6 seconds, and crushing it stopped them.
the destruction of the gem was it, so it was the gem that was doing it. Okay. You see him, he's jotting down.
At the very least, it was a large part of it. I don't know if it was like the cornucopia of it, but it was definitely enough to stop the rats.
Do you remember what triggered the trap?
Uh,
It was the
I,
door.
I mean, I know we came through the door, but I think we encountered a rat, and then it started, rather than
Well, remember, we delayed it.
we delayed what?
So we
Like we entered the door, door closes behind us. We start walking around a bit. We see a rat. Combat starts. I think that was the order of operations.
almost. Just before you guys open the door, Dayu redirected, like put like a couple different like string of runes around the door, and she mentioned something about delaying it.
Oh, okay, right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of tell this to him, and he's like, ah. Well, it's not the most clever, but it works rather well. Not such an elegant solution, but a very practical one. Now, the other bigger issue.
hmm
Can you tell me about the children? The ghosts.
Initially we found two of them being accosted by a another ghost, basically. Um, we got to the body of that third ghost, not related to the children. I mean, they were related, but like not actually. It was like a nanny or something. I don't quite
He
remember.
gives a curt nod.
A curtain on?
He gives like a curt nod, as in like just a
Oh, okay.
sharp, simple nod.
Uh, but we burned the body, and then that dissipated the third ghost, and then after that we went through the rest of this house, killing cultists along the way, and then eventually we find the alive children down there, and then we also find a pile of bodies, by which we then used white flame to burn them alight, and the ghosts were released.
He He nods slightly. Can you describe them? This is for records.
The ghosts or the bodies?
The ghosts.
Uh,
Roll a DC 10 intelligence check.
I know it was a boy and a girl, and
You actually know quite a bit. You reckon you actually kept a close eye on this bit, and as you kind of just describe, and you can describe them if you wish to.
the main two things I remember were boy and girl.
Okay, so two two children, one boy, one girl, about roughly around 8 or 10, and the girl had longish hair, while the boy had short and moppy type of hair. You can't really, because they were ghosts, you couldn't really tell what the colorations were. But the clothing was rather fanciful and befitting of children, like children of noble families, especially like a decade or two ago. And as you described this to him, he goes, "Hmm, well, that would correlate with the." Well, will correlate with the two children that of the Barvale family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, primarily, what we're trying to do is straighten out records and making sure we know who and what were here, even past their prime, as it were.
I
Now,
go ahead.
uh, he as he kind of scribbles about a little bit more, he goes, "Okay, now, could you describe the cultist, the head cultist, not the regular cultists?"
Uh, he used magic. Uh, and I killed him fairly quickly afterwards. There wasn't too much about him that was that interesting, I guess.
Looks average.
Yeah, he just looked like regular old magic dude.
A very common thing with Sinich craft cultists. They like to be able to sneak about.
But yeah, besides that, nothing too special about him. Seemingly something grabbed him while I was out. I was not awake for that, so all that was left were the scratch marks. If you wanted more about that, you'd have to ask Mel or Dayu, because I think they were both awake for that.
He pauses for a second as you speak, and it's like, "Yes, we've already talked to Dayu. Uh, More precisely, we will be talking to Dayu at a later date."
Mm.
From what he gave in a very brief description, is very concerning. So, what she described is a warp portal.
Yeah.
Very few creatures can conjure one into the mortal plane. The issue there is those very few creatures are generally extremely powerful, to the degree that sometimes they'll cause temporary insanity by looking at them.
Oh, so that's why she didn't want us to look.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, of note, how are you supposed to fight one if you can't really look at it?
Blind fighting is a way to do so,
Yeah, but
but
that's not very efficient.
it is not very efficient. There are certain talismans and the like, and we'll be issuing them.
Mm.
And I will make sure to note the fact that you and the other party member of yours should receive some of these talismans. Do note that if they are destroyed in any way possible, then the effects of it will disappear. They're a bit expensive to make, and most worshippers of the dark gods are well aware of these talismans and are eager to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
There was also something else you noted here. It has been stated by Dayu. Okay, out of character before I forget.
Mm-hmm.
You said when you grabbed the materials.
Yeah.
Uh, Continue.
No, go ahead.
So he you basically, I don't know if I remember telling you this, but basically Dayu has warned you, like told you that she's going to at least inform
Yeah.
her superiors
You told me
that
that,
you
yeah.
have. Yeah, okay. I just want to confirm before that because I don't want to accidentally surprise you on something.
Yeah, no, I know.
Sorry. So you go. He pauses for a second and then goes. So she also mentioned that you took samples of things.
That I did.
I will tell you right now, you need to be very careful and extra careful with them. They'll whisper, tempt you. It will try to up your perception, and there is a good chance that they will change how you perceive, act, or deal with anything. Keep that in mind, and we will be keeping an eye on you for that.
Of course. Can't really let those types of materials fall into the wrong hand, and I hold my one hand up.
True. The thing is,
Does he not
that's
laugh?
easily.
Does he just keep
He
going?
No, he snorted,
Okay.
and he got he goes true. I just I have seen many people who swear up and down that they have a handle of of the materials, and the next thing I know, I need to stab them. Do keep that in mind, please. I implore you.
I will.
The less harsher thing, I am rather thankful for what you've done. I'd rather not have to deal with another whoopstorm, personally.
They seem to be quite destructive from what I've heard.
Very. Media is barely a country now. Half of it is just um, roaming bands of beast men. while the other half is barely keeping itself intact. And now their former ally, he kind of gestures just vaguely about around, is eyeing and is eyeing them to making sure that they're not going to go crazy and start another attack on one side and having to defend the other half from the crazy roving bands. Let's just say, eh, it is a very nasty thing. Which is why we were shocked when we felt the chill. Thankfully, it is not going to happen. And also, thankfully, we might be able to actually study this and figure out at least one ritual of how this would work and potentially prevent them from working. I highly doubt it, mind you. They are the Dark Gods, and they do know how to alter things more so than usual.
Do you know of any way to stop a storm once it's already begun, or do you just have to wait it out?
If it has actually begun, you just have to wait it out.
Okay.
I tried to get as far away as possible from the epicenter. That is where most of the concentration of the warp energy is. And overall, anyone that gets stuck in there generally malforms or go insane rather quickly. Now, beastmen aren't really prevalent over in this place at the moment, at least in this province. They're a bit more prevalent in the other provinces. Generally, they're an okay bunch, a bit angry about things, considering that most people are very uh, wary, to put it lightly, about them. Mm, The sane ones are really particularly good, if a little bit hard pressed. A bit hard to decipher sometimes, but here we are trying to deal with something that is upheaving the entire natural order of things. That's the detriment of the dark gods of all things. The other thing that I was mentioned is that you uh, met the Bright Shadow.
Uh, I did not meet Bright Shadow. That'd be Mel.
He nods. Regardless, there's a good chance that you will meet him at some point.
Mm-hmm. And also,
I want
seemingly, his name comes from the fact that while his name shines bright in you while you're meeting him, as soon as he leaves, it only leaves a shadow of the memories that you had while talking to him.
Nick,
I
please
mean,
stop. You're an
he
idiot.
genuinely believes this, so
Insight check.
like he genuinely believes this.
I'm calling you on your bullshit, young man.
So be wary of when you talk to him, as I will be, if I do anyway, to try to write things down, because otherwise The memories will just fade away.
Yeah.
As was done for my companion Mel. Duh.
Now I gotta do a fucking. I gotta do a persuasion check. And that it's just a DC 10.
Well.
But he pauses for a second and he doesn't really. At first, he thinks you're joking slightly, and he realizes that you're actually being serious, and he actually contemplates what you're saying for a second, and then like he puts it on like a separate piece of paper, and then he scrabbles, and like he's like writing something rather quickly. Well, that would be an interesting theory. I'll have to keep that in mind. It makes sense to a degree too, which is the thing.
Mm-hmm. Lots of people tend to not remember.
The issue is a little bit unique, though. It's less that people don't remember meeting him.
Or they
It's
remember
more
meeting him, they don't remember what they talked about with him.
like he nods slightly and goes, "See, generally, that only happens if he doesn't want specific things, as far as we can tell, to be known. Specifically, he just didn't want the meeting to, whatever they talked about, to be remembered. Just basically, his form of hello. The thing is, he can be very selective. So he could leave specific bits of information. He might even allow you to have the entire meeting remembered. The problem is we don't know which is which most of the time. The only one that we can obviously tell is usually the first meeting. That's usually when he does the hello, and you'll basically just know you talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it does give a credence to the name Bright Shadow.
Oh yeah, and if you ever happen upon a riddle, he's the answer to it. And I give him like a piece of parchment with the text of the riddle that we solved, and then like the placements of each of the gods on it.
He actually looks at it and stares at it for a second. He mutters to himself for a little bit. Give me 1 second. And he takes out a clean parchment and he just like copies it down word for word. And you're kind of impressed how quickly he's able to copy almost everything.
All right.
This is for records. You may keep that if you wish, or if you wish to give it to us, that would be most grateful.
I've got the true copy right here, and he taps his head.
He nods. Very well. This will work actually rather well. If we do run into something like this, we'll have to keep that in mind. Although, the thing is, we have to make sure if it's just as a niche thing, or could be a Slanesh thing as well, or a Nurgle thing, or...
From the riddle that we solved, that was the exact layout and the exact answers based on the riddle. Potentially, if you have different, subsets, it'll be different, but you also know the general, layout there, so there you go.
Yes, I'm noting the primary ones are in the right position, in specific positions. It could also be changed. Because naturally, whatever one they consider the best is put into whatever position they think is the best suited. For example, this one, and you like taps where Zanich's name is. This group is Zanich followers, and they consider his plans and plots very important. So they always keep him in the shadows. making him seem like he's orchestrating everything. Whereas, say, Corn would be perhaps in one of the outer rings somewhere, wherever what position they would consider good. For example, this one could be they prefer always forward, so north. But on the flip side, it could be that they consider Slanesh, for example, the most prominent thing and the one that guides them the most. So Slanesh could be up north, and they consider Wrath leading him astray to a degree, so one of the sides. But generally, yes, this actually works really well.
There you go. Any other questions you have for me?
You're so weird. Hey, it's a legitimate question.
Well, you see, back when I was a boy, blah 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 blah, and then
Mhm.
I was born.
Very fascinating. Sorry, I got a text from someone.
No worries.
I think that'll be it for you for right now. I'm gonna go back to Mild in a second.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mild?
Yeah.
So after a little bit, a fair few of the guards kind of like position out of the way and start basically working on their own like training as you continue your training.
I'm going to do one last attack, then I'm going to finish up.
Okay.
I guess I rolled for attack then, right?
Yeah.
I think that training dummy is toast.
Yeah, you kind of destroyed that one, and you could hear a couple of the guards groaning slightly.
So that's
As
2d10 plus 2. Would that be 2d4 from vaulting if I were to do that? I mean,
uh,
it doubles the damage, but is that technically an after effect?
that's an after effect, I think.
So it'd still be just 1d4.
Yeah, I'll have to
Oh,
look at it later.
oh, let's see what kind of crater's left behind. 17.
Yeah, not that bad. You definitely destroyed the target though. Bits and pieces. And you can hear like a couple of them were groaning and just muttering to themselves.
Oops.
Yeah, we kind of got kind of carried away there, sir or ma'am.
Oh, time to head back into town
But
and talk to my favorite shopkeep.
all right. Do, 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 do. Oops. Yes, I do know you're in the wrong one. There. Okay.
I now go talk with my shopkeeper friend.
Yep.
Because we get free stuff now because of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free, resupply and everything. It's not like
I
you're
know,
not
I
gonna be
know.
able to.
I know.
All right. There you go. We enter.
Uh-huh.
All right. As you enter the store, you see just a couple other people kind of muttering to themselves.
Where is my shopkeeper friend?
He's in the back right now. Right,
Okay. I'm
right
just
here.
gonna look around for stuff.
All right. A couple of the customers are wandering around a bit for a little bit, and after about like 4 or 5 minutes of you like just kind of wandering around, the shopkeeper kind of comes out and like spots. He goes, "Oh, over here, over here. I have something for you." Okay. So I've been told that you helped save the heiress, and I
Yeah.
thank you profusely with my gratitude. And so does this town. All right, for supplies. Is supplies for 2 adventurers for hmm, so 3 months worth of rations, a fair bit of a fair bit amount of rope for two. I've heard in the grapevine that you have you already have something for a torch, so we won't have to worry about that. Has about double. Basically, it's all. He basically gives you like
An extra dungeoneering kit, I assume.
basically gives you an extra Dungeoneer's kit and then like 4 months of rations and water supply. And it's basically just a bunch of like the Dungeoneers, just basically not just like 2 sets of Dungeoneers kits, but like double amount of rope and the double amount of candles
Uh-huh.
and the like.
I'm surprised I can hold 4 months of food and water on me at once.
Oh, he's keeping it in the back for right now, but he's setting it up so that you guys will have
Uh-huh.
like the rations and water with you.
Got it.
Most of it will stay here, but you will just come by and just tell me that you need a little bit more, and I'll go grab it, or one of my workers will. Until you decide to leave, still off for good, that is, and then we'll figure something out. Perhaps one of the farmers are willing to give you one of their one of their steeds. Right. So a fair bit of adventuring you've done.
Uh-huh.
Now, a bit more exciting than I was expecting to happen, especially how things go. And I damn near had a panic attack when I felt the chill, but other than that, good show. Now, I've been told that you've been giving a few information from Dayu. A couple targets?
Yeah.
Potential?
Yeah.
I was the one that informed her about the, at least the dragoons. The Ashen Elf, that's the grapevine from a couple of the traders around. They've been avoiding a Stillbrook for that reason. Now, let's see. But I can tell you roughly where the attacks are from the dragoons. I've been keeping an eye on that. A couple of the guards come by and tell me. Uh, he kind of leans forward, like with a sly smile on his face. He goes, "You see, I was used as an example for the younger recruits. I was an adventurer, so and there's a fair bit of time where they have me explain how to do things and the like when they have to go through, say, caves or ruins. And of course, they get some discounts on supplies when necessary, but most of the time they're doing guard work and more so than adventuring work. Now, in return, they give me a fair bit of information. And then he kind of points out, I said it was like, so Stillbrook is southwest. And then where the Dragoons have been attacking, I think I said it was north?
You said west.
West, okay, yeah. Yeah. So Stillbrook is southeast then, and then the Dragoons have been attacking in the west. They've been uh hopping about around the two provinces near, or like the other province near us as well. So they've been getting a fair bit of negative reaction from other lords, let's just say. And we would have, let's just say, they'd be very happy if they would stop. The thing is, and this is the thing that's causing people to have pause for concern and everything. The attacks aren't super coordinated, and, well, the looks more, let's say, desperate than anything else. Which isn't usually a bad thing. Obviously, obviously, if a bandit is desperate, that means that they'd be easy to follow. And between the two of us, I think more than likely they are rather inexperienced in banditry. And the other hand is that they basically the only reason why we know it's dragoons is because of the weapons they use, and because there's no real survivors. Man, woman, child, hell, the animals, all dead. They're trying to keep to themselves, and they just take the supplies and make sure there's no witnesses. Which is odd, considering, well, most dragoons aren't willing to do to extreme lengths of that. All is to say is keep an eye on it and keep yourself on your toes.
Don't worry, I definitely will.
They aren't obviously friendly, but hey, I've heard the fantastic rumor that they do have the dragon egg. And whatever you do with it, might prove to be a valuable asset. Now, there's two ways to use a dragon egg, well, obviously. There's to hatch them, or the rumor say so. You can hatch them and have them become partners with you and treat them equally. The other option is to bleed them out and use their blood to empower yourself. Or so the rumors are saying. I myself was a rogue more so than a dragoon, so you would know more than I would.
Hmm. Well, I'll see you later then, friend.
He nods. Good luck on your hunt. Hopefully it will be swift and dealt with, and you don't have to worry about too much. I think that'll be the end of the
Session.
session.
Yeah,
Almost midnight.
indeed.
Before we go, can I do one more thing?
What?
I just want to go downstairs and
You wanna go to the basement?
yeah.
Alright. You head down to the basement.
Are there any other witch hunters down here?
Ah,
There are
like
witch
2 or
hunters
3.
everywhere.
You,
There are...
they're like one of them is in like this room, another one's in the big room, and another one's kind of in the in the maze somewhere.
Okay. I'm just gonna feel the ember warp in my bag and see if it feels any different from earlier.
Make a perception check.
All right.
You can't tell.
All right.
Overall, it just as far as you can tell, there's no changes.
All right, then I'll just head back up and back to town.
Back to town.
All right, that'll be it.
Yay.
Hooray.
Throw the two of you into boop boop. You guys head back to town after a bit, and that'll be the end of the session.
All right. Thank you very much for running.
You're welcome.
Mm.
That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got to do plenty of the talkings and such.
Yeah. I
I
need a.
destroyed a training dummy.
You destroyed a training dummy while you're trying to impress guards. Dragon Rock, your services are always helpful.
Dragget
Alright.
Rock away.
I disseminated information into the witch hunter people. Yeah.
Oh boy.
information that may or may not be accurate.
Hey. As far as Genazol knows, it's accurate.
And he is a mercenary, and he knows reputation is very important.
He wouldn't lie on purpose. That's just foolish.
Yeah,
I mean,
as long as it could be traced. Or he wouldn't lie on purpose to ruin his reputation.
Insert
Basically.
instance where he lied on purpose to the farmer.
Yeah.
Oh no. But yeah,
That's-
stay off, watch, bye.